Wildcats for 39 years, been there for 44 years, but the head coach for 39 years. And Eric, thanks for coming on.
No problem, Steve.
Well, Eric, a new thing, another award for you, and all your glory, all your great things that happened. They're going to name the Clovis Leon Williams Field. Going to call is going to name the field after you, and that's going to happen October 25th in a high school game between Organ Mountain and Clovis High.
Yes, sir. I think we're playing Centennial, though. I think we
Centennial
get over this week. Yeah.
Well, I tell you what an honor that is.
Yeah, it certainly is. I can attribute it to a lot of great kids and a lot of great parents. I was fortunate to have some good student athletes and some parents that supported them and supported our program. I was very fortunate.
Well, I did a little research, and I know that's scary because I know you didn't think I ever studied or did anything in high school or anything like that. But I actually, your accomplishments astounded me. Okay, I didn't realize, that, you won 10 state championship, you played 9 semifinals, and but I think the thing I didn't realize was that you were assistant coach under Dooney Good for 5 years, and I knew that you started coaching when I was a senior in 1973, and that was the first year that one of the Clovis Wildcats went undefeated, and I knew all the players on that. Speak about Dooney Good right now for a little bit, because in those 5 years as an assistant coach under him.
Well, when I got out of WT, I was a GA a year, and I got hired at Canyon High School, and Dooney Good hired me at Canyon High School, and I spent 2 years there. And he left after 1 year to come to Clovis, and then he got the head job at Clovis in 73, and he called me, wanted to know if I wanted to come coach for him. So Dooney Good's the only guy that's ever hired me in my life. He hired me at Canyon in 71, and he hired me at Clovis in 73. And, of course, I stayed till I retired in 2016. But Dooney was a great mentor. He was a great guy and a heck of a football player. Played at Hardin-Simmons, played both ways in those days at Hardin-Simmons. And then he got drafted by the Washington Redskins and played for them a couple of years. So Dooney had a great football background, and I certainly benefited from it.
Well, what a year. That was, one of the, that started the history of football as far as I'm concerned, really. I mean, as far as the winning process started with Dooney Good, with you as an assistant. But I don't know if you remember this, and this goes way back. That dates both you and I back in 1973. Is people don't realize you were the sophomore head basketball coach, and that's where you and I spent almost, if I remember correctly, it was a fifth and sixth period, and I had fifth period, and you were always there, and I was always there, and you were always putting me to work doing something. And one day you put me in charge of doing the camera, and I said, "Oh, I can do this, Coach, man. No problem." And you came back about 20 minutes later, and it was one of those old films, where the film came through the thing. I had it all over the office, man. I had it streaming all over. I was about to cry. I was like, "Oh, Coach Roanhaus is going to come in here." I told him I could do this. I got this stuff. I think I ruined the film. I ruined the whole thing, and you just looked at me with a calm and collective smile and kind of looked at me, and you go, "Hey, Steve, hey, next time, why don't you think like a machine?" And I'm like, "Coach, I can't even think right now. I'm so uptight and everything. I can't even think." And you calm me down, and you put it back together, and you never told the story to anybody that I didn't know how to work a little projector for Clovis High.
Well, I think it got you started on what you're doing now with your ProView nets. You're right back.
No, actually, I'm actually worse. Okay, that's why I'm like a coach now. I got guys that can do this, so to make me look good. So, I learned to delegate. I watched you all these years with all the great assistants and coaches you had to delegate and take all the awards.
Yeah, well, it certainly was a funny time. That incident was at that time, but that 16 millimeter, we've come a long ways. We're all the way to huddle now and made great strides in filming ball games and what we're doing today, this Zoom.
Well, I tell you, I look back and, I just, you look back and I want to talk about my years there when I got to know you more. You never coached me, okay? You never did coach me, but always over the last all these years, I felt like you were a coach to me, and I want to thank you for always making me feel part of the football family. I mean, those years you'd ask me to go to the games. You'd ask me. You probably don't even remember all the good things that you've done for me in my life, but and I'm just reflecting on the gratitude that all the players that have played for you over the years, what you have done for them, and how you influenced their life to become good citizens and also good people in the state of New Mexico and also across the country.
Yeah, and they're Wildcats. Once a Wildcat, always a Wildcat. I don't care if you didn't play football, you were a Wildcat. And that was important to me and all the kids in the basketball program. Those first 5 years at Clovis before I became head coach, I coached JV football, sophomore basketball, varsity baseball. So I had the opportunity to meet a lot of good kids.
Well, no, you did, and you influenced their life, and then you became the head coach, and I think that's where you're the winningest football coach in the state of New Mexico, and I think that's where it all started. Was your first when you became the head coach. The year before, you and Dooney y'all won the state championship, and you had a little bit target on your back. Talk about that experience coming in.
Yeah, when I took over in '78. Dooney and the bunch had won it in '77, and certainly there was some pressure, whether you felt it or not. There was pressure, and it did exist to do good. And we were very fortunate in '78 to come back and win it again in '78. And then we won that 5 in a row between '81 and '85, and kind of solidified our program. And like I said, we had a bunch of great kids, bunch of great parents, and probably more than anything else you mentioned here a minute ago, I had outstanding assistant coaches. Coach Bodie and Coach Dixon and Coach Fullerton, and those people at that time were on our varsity staff, and we recruited buddies. One of your buddies, Coach Adrian, came in 1980, and then Coach Kilmer came, and he's still coaching at Cleveland. He's been coaching close to 50 years now, Coach Kilmer has. And we're very fortunate to have a lot of quality and knowledgeable assistant coaches that certainly helped me.
I'll tell you what, we're going to go to the Everguard roof break and come back and talk more about Clovis Wildcats and yourself.
Thank you, Steve.
Cooper's in the backfield with him. He is going to go to the air. As a man, oh, what a tackle there on the edge by Curtis Flakes the third.
Linebackers, here comes the blitz. Oh, and then he drops the ball. It's picked off by the big guy. The Matador score. Oh my gosh, number 55. That's Abram Saucedo.
It is a fierce, windy game out there. Santa Fe stacking the line here. Evans drops back. He delivers fearlessly, looking for the man, and that's how you get him back. Caden Dominguez.
drop it in the bucket. Oh, what a catch! Hanging on is Ronnie Galletti.
Takes the snap, looking to his left. Got Williams open. He catches it at the 35. Makes a guy miss. Goes down the sideline, and Braylon Williams is going to take it to the house. 51-yard touchdown pass from R.J. Montoya to Braylon Williams.
And it's caught for the first down at the pylon. No signal yet. Touchdown, Mustangs. What a beautiful pass.
Santa Fe changing up the front look. Jonas bounces out to the outside. It's a quick pass to the edge and making some room is Jahari Moorhead. Jahari Moorhead is off to the races. Cash that check, Moorhead.
Give it off the dive play. Oh, and he gets open into the secondary. He's still going. Oh my gosh! And just like that, the Matadors explode.
I wouldn't be at all surprised if we're trying, especially since you're not putting somebody with the ball. You may dribble this right down the middle. Tom working on it. They work on this, so they know a lot of kicking throws. There it is, there it is. Oh, he's recovered his own. He recovered his own, a la Pat McAfee.
Got a lot of distance on the first one when he's straight through the upright. A low snap there. Montoya's got a reverse field. He's going to look down, the throw to Williams. Yes! Touchdown, Hope Christian. On a botched snap, a touchdown throw to Braylon Williams.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
Hey, welcome back to Steve Davis Show. We've got Eric Roanhaus, legendary coach from Clovis High, 44 years as a coach and 39 years as a head coach. And I got to speak of one thing that I want to thank you. I know you watched a lot of games on ProView Networks, and one of my memories of you is one time there was a semifinal game or a quarterfinal game, and I got a snapshot of you in your room with the big screen TV sitting back and watching. I think it was Adam Dill and Sebastian Noel do a game, and that to me that was just legendary. That we could show you the game while you didn't have to get on the road and see it. You could sit there in your house and watch the whole thing.
Yeah, that was pretty unusual, pretty neat.
Well, I tell you, it was fun for us to be able to do that, and of course, I'm a basketball player, but people don't realize. You said it earlier that I got one story that everybody's got to see. I just want to let everybody know that Bobby Knight has nothing on you. Okay, with his basketball and all of his thing, Bobby Knight has nothing on you because. I think he took that chair throwing incident that he threw across the floor, and he learned from a guy from Clovis, Eric Roanhaus, when he was coaching the sophomore team.
Well, as Bobby Knight said after that, there was a lady signaling over there that had lost her chair, and Bobby Knight was just throwing that chair to her. It wasn't really an unsportsmanlike situation.
So he was being very subtle during the game and just realized that she didn't have a seat, just kind of threw it over. So what's your story? Okay, so since you got Bobby Knight, let's hear your story on that.
Well, I believe anything Coach Knight. He's one of my favorite people. I've read his book, and every time he spoke, I've had an opportunity to listen to him. I certainly liked the situation when the comment when he said that when his time on earth is past and all his critics could kiss, you know what. But that was one of my favorite quotes he made all those years.
Well, I tell you that throwing of the chair really made it. I was getting prepared for the game, and we were all sitting there, and all of a sudden that chair goes flying across there, and it. I don't even know if you got a technical, because everybody was such a shock on the whole thing, because nobody's ever seen that or anything like that. But it was something that the other side of Roanhaus, the competitive side of Roanhaus, that people don't realize. Yeah.
I just one of those things. Sometimes it gets away from you, but over the years I have been competitive, and I've always been competitive, and it's just the way I am. There's nothing I can do about it. I just love to compete. I don't care if it's playing cards or playing golf or whatever. But I am a competitor. I'll have to agree with you on that.
Well, I look at this, I'm reminiscing just about my years and everything, and I want to thank you on what you've done for me, ProView Networks. You've supported, the thing. I'll speak for a lot of people. You've supported everybody that you've been around, that you either coached or was a Clovis Wildcats, and they didn't have to play for you. And I think that speaks more to me about your coaching career than anything. Is that you just weren't about football. You were about Clovis, the community. And the biggest thing, in a positive way, you love to win.
Yeah, I believe if you were going to go out there to compete and work hard and make a commitment to something, then winning was a part of that commitment.
And you got the pleasure, of coaching your sons and your grandsons. Speak on that and talk about. The pressure, a little bit of the pressure that was on you for playing your son, because I'm from Clovis, and you can speak candidly, when you talk up front about the politics and the whole thing about it, but, it had to be, a lot of pressure.
Oh, I'd say challenging is the word, that more than pressure. And, I got to coach my son, and, I became a victim of what made us successful here. The things that made us successful is all the kids in Clovis wanted to grow up and be Wildcats. I don't care if they were basketball players or football baseball players or what. And my sons were the same way. So that's why I stayed so long. They wanted to be Wildcats. And then I had the opportunity to coach them in the early 90s and mid-90s. And then, of course, I had an opportunity.
Eric, we're having a little voice. Can you check your volume on that?
Yeah, I had a phone call. I'm on my phone, and I had a dang phone call.
Okay, go ahead.
But I declined it, so I'm doing okay.
So speak again. Yeah, I can hear you now. Great. Go ahead and speak on on coaching of your sons and grandson.
Then I had an opportunity to coach Chad's son, Sebastian, and he played for us a few years. Missed his junior year, tore an ACL, but those are always real fond memories. It's fond memories coaching all those kids. I run into kids in the community all the time that I coach. I don't care if it's at, Chili's or Texas Roadhouse or Walmart or wherever. I don't seem to ever go out and not run into an ex-Wildcat or a kid that had opportunity. I had the opportunity of coaching, and that's a real rewarding experience.
I'll tell you what, we're going to go to a break, and we're going to come back, and we're going finish up talking more about what you've been doing and how and your what's going to happen on October 25th.
I'm David C. Chavis, personal injury attorney. Our law firm was founded by my father, Thibaut J. Chavis, with one goal: to get New Mexicans the help they need. That's why we built a different kind of law firm. We focus on family values, dedicated service, and we make a real contribution by giving back to our communities. We can't change what happened to you or your loved ones, but we can help you get back on the road to recovery. We're by your side, and we're still as local as red and green.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Your surprisingly great rates? Contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Up an embarrassing moment.
Hey, welcome back, Steve Davis Show. We got Eric Roanhaus over here, and Eric, what brought up fond memories with me, and over the years that we've known each other. But people don't realize, I got one other story, and you may not remember this one or not, but you're a great referee. You refereed and coached football and did both for many years, and I was at Clovis watching the Hobbs game one time, sitting up in the top, and you were doing the JV game, and there was a questionable call, or I thought it was a questionable call from where I was standing or whatever, and it actually Clovis JV beat Hobbs, which is a miracle in itself. At sometimes at those stages of those years, and everybody was excited after the game, and then I go, what do you think of that call you made? And you said, Steve, I was 100% right, and sure enough. And you don't remember this, but they had a film of it. I went back and looked at it just to see if it was true or not, but you did make the right call. So I just wanted to let you know, even though it was on Clovis's home court, and the Hobbs fans weren't too happy with it. But I thought you'd laugh about that memory. I don't know if you remember that at all.
Oh,
So.
I remember the situation. You know, I refereed 40 years, about wore my body out. But, yeah, I remember that JV game.
But I tell you, you just looked at me right on the deal and said, "You're right," and I did. I that's my nature. I always like to check to see, because my eyes, I was at a different angle. I was up high up on up in the I guess it'd be the south corner of Rockstop Stadium, up high where the radio station is, and was looking right down, and you had an eyeball there. I should have never questioned, is all I'm saying. So I apologize for questioning Eric Roanhaus.
Well, I got these glasses on. I got 4 eyes. I should have seen it right.
No, you did, and I tell you, it was a great moment that because Clovis won, and not a lot of times does Clovis beat Hobbs at Clovis. So it was a good night for me to. Because I never beat Clovis, I never beat Hobbs in my career, and so when I saw that, it really made things are good. Good things are good for Clovis when they beat Hobbs.
Yeah, that was always good. Clovis people and Hobbs was a great rivalry, and then they took us out of districts here several years ago, and we weren't even in the same district anymore. We used to play Hobbs the last game, and now this year we're back in that district with Hobbs and Carlsbad, which will give us an opportunity to certainly renew that rivalry.
So tell me about October 25th on that Friday night. What's the ceremony? How's it going to operate? I know that a lot of people are going to come in and see that. Do you have any particulars on that?
Well, I don't have any particulars on it. I know they are going to have it before the game Friday night, and that the mayor is going to be there and give a proclamation and give me the key to the city and some of those things. But I'm not sure of all the details yet. It's a couple 3 weeks away, and I'm certain they'll have it in good shape, particularly what they're going to do and everything else. Well,
what are some of your greatest? I don't want to put you on. So, I know you have great memories of everything, but what do you remember about coaching that really sticks out in your mind?
Oh, I don't know. At my age, it's good to have a memory of a lot of things. As you get, when you get in your 60s, you get more timers, and then you get in your 70s, and you have some timers, and you get in your 70s, you have more timers, and then when I get in my 80s, I'll probably have all timers. But it's fun to be able to remember all those relationships, and coaching is nothing more than building relationships with kids and your coaches and everything. And I'm glad to have had the opportunity to build those relationships here with the Clovis kids over all those years. Something that's neat, the first and second year I was head coach here in 78 and 79, I had the opportunity to coach Mark Easton, the Lobos, and played football for the Lobos for 4 years, and then graduated pharmacy school, and he's doing real well. But the thing that really honors me is that now my name's going to be on a field that's in Mark Easton's grandfather's stadium. Leon Williams is Mark Easton's grandfather. And it's a big honor for me, for my name to be on a field that's in Leon Williams Stadium.
Well, Eric, we're going to cut it up. Hey, congratulations. Hey, thanks for coming on my show, and enjoy yourself in a couple of weeks on that having the field named after you. So anyway, hey, thanks for coming on Steve Davis Show.
Hey, thank you, Steve.